Hello friends, welcome to C# Intermediate to Advanced tutorial. Now you are watching the part 5 of the subseries. Here in the subseries we are learning about a stream reader, stream writer, and how to use OpenFileDialog and the folder browser dialog. So now we are going to look at FileOK event handler. So the FileOK event handler is used to validate the selected file. Say for example, here user clicks the ellipsis button that will open a file open dialog. From there, user will pick a file name, and we can make sure whether selected file is okay by handling this event. Okay, in the sense we can validate against the selected file, and if we find that selected file is not correct one, then we can inform that to the user and keep the file open dialog still in opened state. Okay, before moving into the part 5, we will have a quick review of what we have seen in the previous 4 videos. First, we talked about the form design. And if you see, we placed a folder browser dialog and OpenFileDialog in our Windows form. So far, we used OpenFileDialog and folder browser dialog component is not yet touched. So this is the file open dialog. We renamed it as DLG file open, and this one is a folder open dialog. So this one we already tried, and this one yet to see. So we set filter, and then we use the show dialog method to show the open file dialog. Then based on the return result, we take a necessary action. Then in the next part, we implemented showing the image file. So we use a path utility to get extension from the file name. Based on we perform the validation. Here we know that we are in the picture file format. Then we performed loading the image into the picture box controller. In the last video, we used file stream and stream reader to read the text file content. Then we displayed that on the multi-line text box. So in the last video itself, we saw what happens while loading the image. The last but previous video, there we saw when we select the star.star file filter here, and if we select a file which is not having the extension txt, bmp or jpeg, so that time the code will land into loading the picture box and it fails. In this video, we will use the FileOK event handler to inform the user that they selected a unsupported file format. So the best way to handle that is not displaying the star.star filter, but here we displayed star.star filter so that user can see what are all the file available in a specific folder. But it opens a gate for picking an unsupported file format. Now we will handle that using the FileOK event handler. So the handler name is FileOK. So the FileOK event is from the OpenFileDialog. And if you see here in this line, first we set the required extension format. Next, we use the path utility, path.getExtension method. Then from the FileOpenDialog, we read the file name and we extract the extension. Then we check record extension. So that one is the record extension, and we are finding the index of a substring selected text. Selected extension. So the selected file extension can be any extension. Say for example, the extension is a txt. When we go for record extension, this is the record extension dot index of selected ext. Selected ext is txt. So it will find the index location. Definitely it will return 0 or greater than. So 0 to some number it will return when the selected file extension falls under any of one this category. So for example, if user selected JPEG, then selected index will be definitely more than 0. So this is 0th location, definitely it will be more than 0. So that's what we are checking here. If index is less than 0, that means whatever extension user selected, say for example, if user selected a file name with the extension log, we will not find that here with the index of function call. So both are string from record ext. So in this string we are searching for a substring selected ext, and if log file is not here, it will return index less than 0. So that's what we are checking. So when index is less than 0, then we return supported files are txt, bmp and jpeg. And the important thing here is we receive cancel event arg here. So after the validation, we are setting cancel event arg to true. So when a FileOpenDialog is displayed, user will browse through a specific file. Then to confirm their selection, they will click this open button. So once user clicks the open button, the dialog closes and call to show dialog will end. So, but we don't want to close the dialog when user picks a wrong file. So that's where we make use of cancel event arg e.cancel equal to true. That's what we are setting here. So even though the user selects the open button, the code flow will land here because the FileOpenDialog will fire this FileOK event before closing the dialog. So here we are validating it, and when we see user doesn't select the supported file, we show a message box, and at the same time we are cancelling the event of closing this FileOpenDialog. So that's all. So when user clicks OK by selecting a wrong file format, they will see this message box. Supported files are txt, bmp, jpeg, and the dialog will be still in open state. Okay, now it's a demo time. We will go to the demo. So here is our sample application, and if you see here, so far we implemented FileOpen. That means we implemented this button click event. Now, so for example, user is going for star.star file extension, and log file is not supported, right? When user picks this log file, it will land up into, so the extension is not txt, so it landed up here. And in this code, we are assuming that the selected file format is either BMP or JPEG. And when we try to open the picture box control with a wrong file format, we get this exemption. Okay, now we will avoid this by handling the FileOK event handler. For that, first we are clicking this DLG FileOpen. And if you see OpenFileDialog, that's the component name. We already dropped it here from the dialog box. We used the OpenFileDialog and we dropped it to the form. After that, we have written some code. Now we need to handle the event from this OpenFileDialog. So I'm clicking this events tab. Then if you see, there is a FileOK event handler. I'm double clicking that. This will land up into the event handler. So this event handler is called whenever user selects a file and clicks on the open button. So this is the place we will do our handling. As already explained in the slide, first we get the extension, then we search for that extension in our static string, which is nothing but a combination of three keyword extension. So when index is less than 0, that means a user selected a wrong file name. Alright, now we will execute this. So user is in the FileOpenDialog. Let's say they are going for star. And if you see here in the filter itself, we have shown what are all the supported format. So we support BMP file, we support JPEG, as well as a text file. So our sample application can understand these three format. Now log file is simply a text file, but based on extension we decide which format we are supporting. So let's say the user is selecting this log file, or they can even select some DLL file. Let's assume like that. So I'm clicking OK. I'm clicking open button, and you can see supported file format TXT or BMP or JPEG. And if you notice, this FileOpenDialog is not yet closed. Before that, we are into the event handler. So now when I click OK, it will we set e.cancel to true. That means we are cancelling the open action. So now if I click OK, it still stays here. Now let's say I'm selecting a correct file format, and dialog is dismissed. Means FileOpenDialog is dismissed, and our event handler is okay. That means it won't land up here. Because of that, we won't cancel the cancel event logs. We hide the FileOpenDialog. So this FileOK is useful to check any last minute validation before closing the FileOpenDialog. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.